Quite a lot is happening concerning this election. A reminder that, before we give you that reminder, if you look at the dailies, almost everyone has got that on their front page. Every daily. Now you can look at what you also have. The Abuja Inquirer is doing, I want to call this a splash. You know, it's a big one. And look at Clinton, and they're asking the question, Clinton or Trump, America decides. And looking at the quotes, unless we win, it doesn't mean a damn thing. That's Donald talking. And for Hillary, I prepare to be president, and I think that's a good thing. You can see a whole lot more right inside. And for the election, we have our team there. They will be bringing us up to speed on what we'll be looking at pretty much later today. Ayotune Balogun and Maria Baird, they're holding it right there in Washington, D.C. And in Wisconsin is Sean Okinbaloye. We also have Adeshua George, who is right there in New York City. And the team, we have more than enough hands here in Lagos. Chamberlain and the team, perhaps that's why Chamberlain is not here this morning. They're actually cooking up something especially for you on the election. And of course, on politics today, we'll be having a special 2 hours, or as against the 30 minutes for this big moment. And joining us this morning to look at this is Chris Akiri. He's a lawyer and a public affairs analyst and the chairman editorial of the National Daily.
Yes.
And looking at the papers with all of that, what comes to mind is what has been going on in the back room of most of the media organizations on this election and how interesting this is. Good to have you join us this morning.
Nice being with you.
It's a long journey for those going out for this election, notably the 2 leading candidates. You know,
Yes.
when we use the word leading candidates, for some, they don't even know that they are all the candidates.
Yes, there are others. There are two others. Only 5 majority votes and 2% majority votes, respectively.
So far, it's a long journey, and
Yes.
some have described this as the most dirtiest in the history of campaigns in the U.S.
Yes.
in modern day history. So
Yes.
how would you rate the campaign so far?
Well, rating the campaigns, you know, I mean, I think it's easy to say this is the ugliest, and like you said, the dirtiest campaign in U.S. history. You know, a campaign in which the participants, particularly Donald Trump, you know, trade insults on the other person. The campaign in which the candidates do it as if they were in Nigeria or in some other developing country. Do or die.
Can I take you back now?
Yes.
You said as if they were in Nigeria. Perhaps I think that should be changing the thinking of most people when they think that Nigeria and its democracy and its campaign style is quite, you know, barbaric and different from what you see in other climes. Now you've seen the semblance from the United States.
Correct.
The words, the language.
The language. No, they don't discuss issues, you know, just like they would do in Nigeria. They concentrate, they focus on the individual, the history of the person, the sociology of the person, of the candidate. That's what they focus on. You know, they put an accent on things that don't matter. Rather than debating issues, they talk about the personalities. You know, each one abuses the other person, and so on. You know, just like I've never had it before. A man, you know, a woman standing by your side, a competitor, a fellow contestant, and you say, what a nasty woman. I have never heard of that before. You see, a woman saying...
I was shocked when that dropped, and I thought that the media was going to highlight that, but it kind of passed. And it seemed almost everything became normal.
It can't pass. I mean, it's in the subconscious of every person. For a man to talk like that, to abuse a woman, and thank God the woman never responded, but, you know, onlookers didn't take kindly to it at all. And today they don't forget. And that's why the overwhelming majority of women in America, particularly the college women, you know, those people who have gone their college, that is, people who are graduates, don't take kindly to that type of insult at all. You know, it's tantamount to sexism. And you know, sexism is abusing the other sex, you know, as if it's not worth anything. That's the type of thing this man has introduced into America's body politic, and it is bad.
What does he say of the body itself, the political parties themselves? If your candidate is allowed to run, not for lack of a better way to describe it, run riot, and you can't seem to hold him or rein him in or rein her in, what does that say of the body itself?
Yes, it is the problem in America. You know, before the convention, anything could happen. They could choose any candidate. But they chose this man called Trump, Donald Trump, at the convention, and that was it. They couldn't do any other thing. He must be their representative. And today there is so much division in the GOP party, the grand old party, GOP. You know, as between those people who are for Donald Trump and those people who are not for Donald Trump. But there's nothing they can do about it. At the convention, he was already chosen as their candidate. And that is it. So many people have gone away from him, not being able to do any other thing about him. And some people are still with him, like Newt Gingrich, for example, a former Speaker of the House of Representatives, and so on. So it's a terrible thing. Once the person has been chosen as the presidential candidate, he could do anything. Like this man who has gone from the sublime to the ridiculous. You know, there is nothing they can do about him. He has to represent that party until, you know, he broke away from the party and he said, "I'm unchained, I'm unshackled." You know, so he's no longer as such. They don't consider him a member of the party because the attitude, the body language, everything that he says are out of touch with the values of the American people. You know, so that's a problem.
We'll take a moment, and when we'll come back, we'll be looking at the Trump phenomenon, looking at the power of the media, because for some, they still believe that he got to where he is through the power of television and even his money, and how surprising people like Jeb Bush and a couple of other Republicans were when he emerged the candidate of their political party, and how much of support we're likely to see from these individuals. That'll be after we return. Stay with us.
Okay.